For those of you who are here for the first time, I want you to know that my sessions are 1 hour long. About half of the time, I will lead you through breath work. Okay, so this we're talking about today about stopping worrying. I'm going to teach you breath work that will prepare your mind to slow down from that anxiety, from the worrying, from that just a repetitive garbage that keeps playing in the head, which is actually not true. It's all stories, and we'll talk about that. But the breath work is a precursor, pranayama. I'm going to teach you breath work from ancient Indian wisdom, which will prepare your mind to get into that state of deep relaxation. And the second half of my sessions are the actual matters of the heart, which is the guided meditation. I take you to that deep place where you'll come away with some profound sense of stillness. All right? So thank you, Ash, for telling me that you've been recommended by Better Up. And I want especially curious, which is the specific coach within there. Jolene, Newt here, welcome. All right, so like I said, we're going to start off with some breath work. So why don't you all, yes, Murita, I know that you love the breath work. I know that a lot of people here love the breath work. I know some of you come here not expecting the breath work or not particularly like the breath work. And I tell you, there's tremendous benefit. Let me just talk about that just for briefly so that you all understand. For those of you who are contemplating, wondering, even resisting when I said breath work, I'll tell you, during the day, we human beings on an average take 24,000 breaths. Now, a lot of times when we are busy doing tasks, when we are trying to follow some news, or we are in a meeting, when there's a discussion, there's a debate, we tend to hold our breath inadvertently. We don't even know we're doing it, but we tend to hold it. And when we do breathe, we're also breathing shallow in most of the times when our mind is distracted, when we're just kind of regularly going about in our day, because nobody ever taught us since we were little children, since we were born, what is the right way to breathe. And some of us actually made that part of our muscle memory. As we've grown up, we've learned to keep breathing shallow. We've learned to hold our breath while we are, if you're shocked, if you're being kind of particularly drawn to something, we tend to hold our breath and depriving the body of the much needed prana, the vital force, the life force that keeps every cell vibrant. And for the growth, for the progression, for the joy to dwell within, to kind of completely engulf you. And so what we're going to do now in the next 20 minutes is I will teach you simple techniques how to compensate for those times when you've been holding your breath, when you've been depriving, when you're breathing shallow. All right? So the first of those exercises is a very powerful one. It's called Anuloma Viloma. In Anuloma Viloma, I want you to do something called Vishnu Mudra. Vishnu Mudra is where you use your thumb and your ring finger. The two fingers in between, which is your index and the middle finger, will be folded in. And this is an alternative nostril breathing. So I will use my right thumb to close the right nostril. I will inhale for a count of 5 from the left. Exhale from the same side as we inhaled. Let's continue that for a couple more rounds. Inhale from the same side. And 5 out. One more round. Let's get it out from the same side. Exhale. And now switch. We're using the ring finger to close the left nostril. Inhale from the right for a count of 5. Same side, exhale. Inhale from the same right side. Exhale from the same. One more round, 5 in and 5 out from the right. Okay, now I'm going to teach you alternate nostril breathing. So we'll inhale from the right. Seal that with the thumb, exhale from the left. Inhale from the same side. Seal that with the ring finger, exhale from the right. Inhale, same side. And exhale from the left. And as you continue this, make sure that your belly is opening and expanding and collapsing, not your chest. Use your diaphragm to inhale and push the air out from your abdomen as it comes out and leaving no oxygen, no air left in your lungs, completely emptying it. Continue this for a few more rounds. This is a very fundamental practice, Nadi Shodhana. It's the cleansing of the energy meridians inside the body. And this alternate nostril breathing harmonizes our left and right hemispheres of the brain. Lots of benefits here. I want you to go ahead and keep your eyes closed once you've got the rhythm of what we're doing. In pranayama, the hearing is the dominant faculty. You want to hear as the air is going in and out of your system. The eyes remain dormant. Exhale from the opposite. Inhale from the same side you exhale from, and exhale from the opposite. Letting your mind completely be focused on this inhalation and exhalation, the flow of this air through your body. Become a witness. A witness is somebody who sits back and watches the scenes unfolding without interfering with what is going on. Not trying to control, not trying to alter anything in any way, and definitely not trying to resist what is happening. Now I want you to go ahead and release your hands as we move on to the next exercise. And this exercise is called Brahmari. Brahmari is the buzzing bee, and the buzzing bee is how you do it is you go ahead and we will seal the different orifices, so the ears and the eyes. If you have your headphones, don't worry about that. Keep that intact. Let's go ahead and use the two fingers of the hand, which is the middle, and the ring finger to close the eyes. If you are not using headphones for whatever reason, then I want you to use your thumb to seal your eardrums. Don't do it quite yet because you can't hear me if you do it. So go ahead, and then once you seal it, we take a deep inhale through the nose, filling up our belly. Always, in all of pranayama, we use the diaphragm to open and to expand and take in a deep breath. And as we exhale, I want you to do this. Close your mouth, and exhalation comes out as a hum that originates at the bottom of your throat. Okay? It looks like this. All right, so what I want you to do is the exhalation should be for a count of 10 or greater. Okay, with long, slow exhale with that deep hum. It's like an internal massage for your organs. It cleanses the sinus cavities inside your head. It massages all of the organs like the tongue, the brain, the palate, etc. All right, so let's do this together. Inhale. And first round. Second round, inhale. Third round. Now I want you to go ahead and rest your arms. If you're sitting on a chair, either on the armrest or on your lap. If you're lying down, you're going to rest it next to you, palms facing up, making sure your shoulders are relaxed, your jaw is unclenched, your brow is unfurled, no tightness anywhere. And just notice how you feel different after this internal massage of the headspace. Breathing nice and deep into the belly, expanding and softening your core. This core muscle has tremendous benefits, a tremendous role in your posture, in your pain body, and even in your breathing. You don't have any control over regulating your mind directly, nor your vital signs, but what you do have control is the diaphragm, your breathing muscle. And what this does is when you regulate it for this even breathing, samavritti pranayama, 5 in, 5 out, which should be the natural state, 10-second cycle, 6 cycles per minute. You're automatically beginning to calm the mind, reduce your blood pressure, slow down your heart rate, and allowing the PNS, the parasympathetic nervous system, to be activated, which is directly responsible for your rest and digest system. Now, moving on to the next pranayama exercise. This is called the lion's breath. And in this, the focus is on the exhale. When you exhale, I want you to open your mouth. It comes out with a gasp of air, and you stretch your muscles of your face, stick your tongue out just like a lion that is on attack. It's like this. Okay. All right. So together, let's go ahead and do 7 rounds of that. I want you to use your belly all the time. Remember, you're going to use your diaphragm to control your breathing. The face, all of the other orifices, those are the outlets. The control is happening in your diaphragm. Okay, let's do 7 rounds of it together. Belly nice and expanded, full of air. And then first round. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and final. Rest up, go back to your samavritti pranayama, 5 in, 5 out, even breathing again from your diaphragm. In this next exercise, we're going to be practicing bandha. Bandha is we're going to directly manipulate our breathing by holding our breath. This is Bahya Bandha, what we'll practice today. And in this, what we're going to do is we'll inhale nice and deep, exhale, and then we're going to hold. You're going to hold till I tell you to inhale again. Now, I'm going to try to stretch your limits because we all have this mental conceptions. We have this preconceived notion that, I can't hold my breath that long. But you know what? You really can. It's your smaller self talking. It's like the one that does not believe that you have that capacity to hold. So trust me, you can do a lot better than you think you can do. Now, should you have a state where you're going into a panic, you're feeling like, you simply cannot hold, it's okay. I want you to go ahead and release and then go ahead and inhale. For the rest of us, I ask that you please trust and go with this. All right? Are we ready? So go ahead and close your eyes, downshift your gaze, whatever you feel comfortable. Inhale through the nostrils. Exhale from the nostrils. And at the bottom of the lungs, I want you to hold. Hold, I'll do the counting. You just hold. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Let that go. Another round of inhale and exhale. And this time after the exhale, I want you to hold. We're going for second round of holding. Hold till I tell you. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And after this round of exhale, we're going to hold. Hold for the final round. I'll do the counting. Hold. Believe that you can do it. And this time as you're holding, I want you to squeeze the muscles in your buttocks. Squeeze the muscles in your legs, your thighs, your hamstrings. Squeeze the muscles in your calves. Squeeze your muscles in your abdomen. Squeeze the muscles in your chest. Squeeze the muscles in your back. Holding your breath whole time. Squeeze the muscles in your arms, your biceps, your triceps. Forearms. Squeeze the muscles in your face. Make a frown if you need to. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. And we are done with the breath work. Let's go back to Samavritti Pranayama. 5 in and 5 out. Even breathing through the diaphragm. Allowing the belly to expand and collapse as you're breathing nice and deep. A lot of times I get this question, what is the benefit of this? It's so uncomfortable, unusual, unnatural. Well, there's a lot of benefits, my friends. When you hold your breath like that, you're sending a signal to the brain to maximize the amount of carbon dioxide that you're building up in your body and thereby exchanging it. So your lung tissue will exchange it for the maximum amount of oxygen that you can possibly take in a particular breath. So there's tremendous value in rejuvenating, nourishing our body. And you can feel that. Just feel into that right now, into your body. I want you to take an account of 5, inhale through the nostrils, and then 5 out through the mouth. allowing your eyes to stay closed or downshifted, whatever the situation that you feel most comfortable as we move into the matters of the heart. So why do we worry? It's an age-old system deeply ingrained into the evolution of the human brain. It's a protective measure. It's the way in which we saved ourselves from the saber-toothed tiger down by the river, by marauding tribes that are going on a rampage, looting villages, or that unknown fruit or root that could potentially kill you. So the human brain has evolved to worry about things. Any time there's uncertainty, the brain doesn't like it. The brain wants to figure it all out, and if it can't figure, it will worry, because playing out the worst case scenario has been a trick, a successful strategy that has protected us. But it also does not serve us in these times when we don't live around saber-toothed tigers and we don't have to worry about foraging in the wild for our fruits and our berries. Neither are there marauding tribes standing on the corner trying to loot everything that belongs to us. And so how do we reallocate these resources for creative, constructive, and positive thought processes? Catastrophizing is a common reaction to uncertain situations. And we tend to overestimate the likelihood of the consequence of the worst case scenarios, that the worst of our fears may play out. And especially if you are a young adult between the ages of 18 and 35, this is the part of the brain that deals with uncertainties, and it's still developing at that phase of our lives. You think about it, catastrophic thinking is about dwelling in the past or worrying about the future. Our brain interprets uncertainty as danger, which is why in our minds, a typo at work turns into being fired, or a failed test in school turns out to us dropping out of school. These are all imagined scenarios, stories that we play. And like I always say, stories are just stories. They are not the truth. And thanks to our ancient ancestors, our brains are designed to expect the worst, because as we wandered the earth, we human beings, we always underestimated what was around the corner or in the bushes or in the forest. And that could be deadly. And this is why we've evolved to develop this psychology of better safe than sorry, both to uncertainties big and small. Now I'm going to lay out a few ways in which to process at a time when you're reeling under this better safe than sorry attitude of the brain, this protective cycle of worrying. And if you ever find yourself in a situation such as that, you may choose one of the methods that I'm going to lay out right now. Stop time traveling. Most of our catastrophes exist in the future. Either that lost job, dropping out of school, whatever the scenario may be, that transporting to your next month or the next year when that scenario that you're imagining may play out doesn't really solve the problem in the here and now. So I ask that you take a deep breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Can you come into the present, into the here and now? Trying not to get ahead of ourselves. Don't go there yet. Stay here with me right now. Just be. And focus on what is. Part of staying in the present is to not get into those what if, but instead, what is. Because catastrophizing is based on fear rather than on facts. And so ask yourself, what is working in my favor right now? What are the resources that are available to me to succeed in these circumstances? Count your blessings. Take stock of the opportunity. And when you feel like you are a little bit more grounded and calm, go ahead and play out. This is the third step. Play out that worst case scenario. See what happens. Imagine what would happen even if you lost the job, flunked out of school. What would happen then? With your resources and these blessings, how could you reinvent yourself? And step number 4 is play out your best case scenario. What is the best thing that could happen in these given circumstances? The most unimaginably positive outcome. Now notice that both these last two things, best case and the worst case scenarios, are simply fantasies, childlike fantasies. And most often reality is somewhere in between, almost always. So there is the best case, the worst case, and the realistic case. What is the realistic scenario? Feel into that. It's a trick to hang out somewhere right here in the middle between that black or white thinking. This being in the gray, that's where the facts are. Most likely outcome. And then get more data points, get more information about that which is taking you down the spiral of catastrophizing. The real cure for catastrophizing is confidence. And confidence comes from experience. Experience that says, I've been here, done that. I've got this down. So think of times in the past when you were in a similar scenario and were able to navigate through this successfully. Think of another scenario. And this is how you build confidence. By doing it over and over again. And most often we have the experience, but we just forget it in these trying times. Let it all be thrown out of the window. But I want you to actively recall, use your experience to build that confidence. And then you'll see, you probably have a smirk on your face, because fear isn't fact. Fears are not facts. They're just catastrophizing. And so the more I practice bringing myself into the present, looking at the facts, and evaluating the realistic, the what is scenario, I'm reprogramming my brain away from that spiraling into toxic worrying. Instead, channeling that energy towards creating and being positive. Just notice how you feel, even in these few minutes of reprogramming. And I want you to put your palms together in prayer position at your heart center. The palms are an energy vortex. They are an energy center for your prana, the life force in your body. So I want you to go ahead and rub both your palms together, nice and brisk, igniting chi the life force, and you can feel a nice warm bubble of energy well up. Between your palms. And then when you're ready, when you feel that nice gooey warm ball, I want you to apply that to both your eyes, one on each eyeball. And allowing this chi to percolate in through the body, down through the core channel. All the way down to the abdomen, to the feet. May tranquility reign in my mind. May love reign in my heart. And health reign in my entire body. Now I want you to take your palms and make them face outwards, as if you're sending a blessing. And let us imagine the beautiful planet Earth, our home, our mother. This beautiful ball floating in space, sustaining all life that we know, selflessly. And imagine beams of light emerging from your palms and wrapping our planet, completely covering it with this healing light. May love reign in the hearts of all beings. May their minds be clear. And their bodies be healthy. May we all live as one, because each of our destinies is tied to one another. The destiny of the planet is ours, and ours is of that of the planet. So may we treat each other as such, all species, because we're just one part of this ecosystem. May your light shine upon this earth to heal the broken hearts, to mend the wounded, and to give hope to the hopeless. Now bring your palms together back in prayer position at your heart center. Let's take a bow of gratitude for what we've experienced now in the last 45 minutes. And ask yourself, how do I feel right now? If you could summarize how you feel right now in one word, what would that be? And I invite you to go ahead and share that one word in the chat window. Great, peaceful, relaxed, peaceful, expansive, relaxed, humble. That's beautiful. First time I've heard that. Blessed, light, peaceful and relaxed. Thankful, calm. I'm feeling so light, so blessed. Thank you all for participating. I invite you to all now to go ahead and hit that donate button and express, share what you can, share the best you can. If you can donate, it's wonderful, but if you're here just to receive, you're welcome too. And for those of us who can donate, I ask that you please do so generously for the rest of us who are here just to receive. Calm, unworried, no worries, thanks, heart, heart, heart. Beautiful, beautiful folks. So I'm now going to open it up for any questions, any comments. I was not watching. I was clearly focusing on making sure that you get the best experience in this last 45 minutes. So if you did have any questions that came up, I ask that you please go ahead and type them out now. Or if you think you asked them already, go ahead and repost them because I was not looking at the chat window. And while you're doing that, I just want to mention a couple of things. I run a Sacred Circle, which is an in-depth exploration. It's a cohort-based learning. It happens every Saturday, 9 to 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. So that would be 5 to 6:30 in the UK, midday in the East Coast of USA, late in the evening in Asia. And that information to that can be found on my website, joywithj.com. It's called the Sacred Circle, and it's a very powerful group that we've been gathering. It's a cohort-based learning in that I will initiate with a very powerful meditation exercise. I'll give you a hands-on exercise, a workshop, and then we break out into groups based on areas of your interests. So if you're a healthcare worker, if you're somebody struggling with being a single mom or with specific anxiety issues, we will create cohorts based on people who are dealing with that things. That way, it's not just me educating you, guiding you, but you're building a community so that as you walk and navigate, as you find your way out of that, whatever the situation, as you're trying to get through that. So that information is on my website. joywithj.com. You'll find the Sacred Circle information, and I see Mudita has posted the link. Direct link to that is tiny.1/Sacred Circle. Yes, indeed. Is there a difference in benefits between holding when breathing in and holding when breathing out? Yes. So there is the Bahya and the Antara Bandha. And the powerful technique is that when you can hold with your empty lungs, that's when you really have the carbon dioxide buildup. But that's a little difficult. And so what we do is we slowly build a capacity for that. So if you notice that even today, I did a bunch of different exercises, but even so, I want you to slowly start building your capacity. And you hear of yogis holding their breath for 3 minutes. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's definitely not going to happen the first time you get into this exercise. So this Bahya Bandha that we did today, which is holding after the exhale, is a little bit more demanding, but there's tremendous benefits. Like I said, you're giving the carbon dioxide in your body to build up. Okay, and you will find that a little bit more challenging than when your lungs are full of air. You can hold a little bit longer because your body has something to work with. When we have nothing to work with, that's when the real challenge is, but also that's where the real benefits is. So today, if you notice, I didn't do it as long as the one where you have the Antarabandha, where the air is in your lungs. Sometimes I go for 40 seconds. Today I was doing 20, 25, which is pretty good if you stayed that long. It's very good to even have that amount of capacity to hold. Barbara's saying, just what I needed today. Fantastic. been lost in worries, hope this makes a shift. Yes, and like I said, Barbara, and those of you who just joined after I made the initial announcement, all of my sessions Wednesday nights are recorded, and they go on my YouTube channel. So if somebody again can please go repeat and post my YouTube link. It is youtube.com/jchodagam. And if you can't remember that, just Google my name, Jay Chodagam, or go onto my website, joywithjay.com, and you will find a link to my YouTube channel. Please go and revisit, because I've got a ton of videos. This is 111th episode for those of you just joined. 111 times we've met since the beginning of the pandemic 18 months ago. And every single one of them has had a different set of wisdom nuggets, breathwork exercises, meditations. Topics were all different. Okay, so thank you. Yes, youtube.com/jchodagam. So go revisit those. So make this part of your daily routine. Don't wait for it to happen when Jay is live. Breathwork is so fundamental. It's breakfast for your lungs. And so learn from this, but integrate that into your routine, into your daily life. So the first thing in the morning was usually the best time before you get busy, before you start, life gets hectic, and before you lose control of being able to take time to invest in yourself. Go ahead and invest in yourself first thing in the morning, right? So some meditation, some breath work. Breath work is always, like I said, it's a beautiful precursor to the meditation, because what you're doing is you're preparing the mind to go into that deep state of stillness. The brain, the breath, and the body have a deep connection. And like I said earlier, the diaphragm is your back door, is your one that you really truly have control over to be able to alter those three things: the breath, the brain, and the body. Right? So as you control your breathing, you are slowing down your brain and preparing it for the meditation. All right, so a guest is asking, any tips for in the moment when worries, anxiety spiral? Is there a breath exercise to do in the moment, even if in public? Yes, indeed. Simple. 5, 7, 8. So somebody asked, I think Carlos asked a little while ago about holding your breath when you're exhaled, right? That's a little harder, especially when you have this kind of a situation, some worry, anxiety attack that has just come upon you. So here's what I asked you to do. Inhale for 5, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Inhale through the nostrils, hold, exhale from the mouth, long, 8. Okay, just do that and count. Do 10 rounds of that. So count every cycle you do. 5, 7, 8, 1, 5, 7, 8, 2, like that. If you lose the counting, start at 1 again. And you notice before you get to the 10th, your mind would already be within a state of calm that you can see clearly and think through what you need to do. Because that's what happens, right? When you start worrying, you're sabotaging yourself from thinking clearly. You're reallocating the resources into the panic attack, into the secretion of cortisol, versus directing it to what is it that you need to do to best address the situation at hand. So this breathing will help you to reallocate, to calm yourself, to refocus your attention where it really needs to go instead of where it's worrying or where the primitive mind is trying to take it to. Can you do the breath work right when you wake? Yes, you can do the breath work right when you wake. Now, some of the exercises that I've taught you here are not ideal for just when you're about to sleep. So that's a good question, V2. I don't know what your real name is, but V2, let's go with that. You can do this when you wake up and you really invigorate the body. You really prepare, like I said, breakfast for the lungs, right? Breakfast for the soul is meditation, but this is breakfast for the lungs. So what you do is you do that, but now the question there might be, Jay, but what if I'm having panic attacks or I'm having anxiety before I fall asleep? Well, go to my YouTube channel. I've recorded 2 separate exercises, Yoga Nidra in 30 minutes, and there's another one, Yoga Nidra, for 60 minutes, and that's got the binaural beats. The binaural beats is that frequency of music that even if you don't even hear any of my voice, that will calm your brain, prepare you for that deep sleep. 432 hertz. So go on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/jchodagam. I think somebody put a link, Morita put a link there. And go look up these Yoga Nidra by Jay Chodagam, and you'll have access to these 2 powerful meditations. And before you even get to the end of it, I'm sure you'll be falling asleep. You'll be deep in delta sleep. All right, hope that helps. Okay, folks. Anything else? Let me just scrolling through just to see. Oh, somebody said it's a great session. I appreciate it, Doris. Okay, we do the breath work. First thing in the morning works better for me if I blow my nose first. Okay, thank you for that tip. Do you teach bellow breathing? Yes, I do. And some of our recordings we do, you'll see bellow breathing. But one of the things that I'll be very honest with you, I have stopped including it because there's a lot of conditions. If you are menstruating, if you are pregnant, if you have heart murmur, if you have palpitations, there's many conditions that need to be made sure that you're not with before you do bellow breathing. So for those of you wondering what this word bellow breathing is, it's the pranayama I've been teaching for the longest time. It is the one in which you exhale through the nostril, sharp exhale. Okay, so that's what bellow breathing is. Will you have any retreats in 2022? I missed 2021, Christy. Yes, and you're the second person in the last 1 week who's asked me when I'm going to do my next retreat. And Christy, I'll be just take a minute to explain what the realistic scenario. I'm a person who used to do retreats on 4 continents in 4 quarters of the year. Japan in the spring, cherry blossom, some of you know. Summer in Italy, the fall in Yellowstone National Park here in the United States, and the winter we'd go down south to South America. Now, the pandemic changed all of that. In 2020, when I had a sold-out retreat in Cherry Blossom Festival in Japan, we had to cancel all the tickets. We had to get all the refunds for our trips and this and that. So we've held off, and the first time I've restarted the retreat was this July 4th weekend. We did a beautiful retreat, again sold out in Marin County. And then at that retreat, we decided, we asked, everybody would have a discussion at the closing session as when the next time we're going to gather in person. And we said we'll do it one in October, 3 months from them, every once in a quarter, right? And I'd set my mind to do it in Mount Shasta, which, as some of you know, it's one of the energy vortexes on this planet. Beautiful place. But then we started having forest fires. Just before the October, we started getting these just incredible forest fires. People couldn't breathe. People being evacuated, homes being burned down. And I said, you know what? Let's just pull back. This is very uncertain for us to be planning something at this time. So one thing is that we're not completely out of the woods, even in terms of this pandemic. And then you've got all these things. And now I've heard some of the countries, some of the places, like I was talking to my mom last night, and we had famine till recently in some places, and now they're having floods in those places. And so it's becoming a little challenging to see what is a place and a time for us to safely plan something. And then I know that some of you have to put so much effort into quarantining. Countries have regulations in terms of when you can exit and enter them, and I'm just holding back. And yes, I can't wait to be in person. Like I said, you're the second person this week who has asked me this question, but I'm waiting to see. So here's what I ask of you. I want you all to please go ahead and drop a comment in the circle. You all know the circle, Meditate with Jay. I hope you're all a part of the circle. If you're not, I ask that you please join the circle on this app, Inside Timer. It's called Meditate with Jay. Go ahead and drop a comment as to when and where you would like to congregate, sort of geographically and time-wise. I am leaving day after tomorrow to Maui. I'm going to be in Hawaii for a week, and I'm going to be having meetings with the person who has a beautiful property that she wants me to do retreats. And I want to check it out, because I always check out the places I go in before I start hosting. And then I might be going in a couple of months to Colombia, where I have my spiritual sister, Rosanna. I've visited her. Some of you know, I was there in 2019. She bought a piece of land, a beautiful tract of 1 acre land right in front of the beach. And she's developed, and that she called me today, and she said that her property, she's got a lot of the rooms are ready. And again, the pandemic has slowed things down considerably, but that would be an incredible place. Knee-deep, shallow water for about 200 yards. And so very safe, right on the in the Caribbean. And it's a property that's owned by somebody I grew up with. I mean, she's very, very close, dear sister of mine, spiritual sister. And so she's asking me to bring a group down there. So I have to see how things play out. These are some ideas that, have come about, but I'm completely open to other suggestions. And again, it's not like just because you're going to make a suggestion and we're going to jump on it, but we'll try to take stock of what are the popular demands and what are the popular destinations and times of the year, and see if it works out. And we need to get about 3 months notice for us to put everything together, because I'm very meticulous about those experiences that I host. And it's not some hippy-dippy thing that you come there and free for all. No, it's very beautifully curated, and people come away having completely transformed. So it takes 3 months to do all of that. Virtual retreats, I did a few last year. No, this year even. I did some last year, I did some this year. And I was pretty disappointed, I'll be very honest with you. There were 15 people who signed up for it, and I had capacity to host 100. So it's one thing to mention about it, but there's another thing when I want to see commitment, and you guys need to show up and commit and be part of it. And so I'm not holding any virtual retreats in the near future, but so my focus right now virtually is these sacred circles that I do every Saturday. And again, please join it. It's incredibly transformative. You can see some of the reviews. I don't know, Mudita, can you post some of those comments that I received? I know that she has a copy of them. The testimonials are just transformative, just beautiful, just heartwarming to see how much support. And we just started this last month in October. And already we have a very tightly knit group of people who meet every Saturday. And we're going deep with that, folks. So let that be the focus, and go ahead and drop any suggestions. I mean, I welcome all suggestions. Go ahead and drop that in my circle, Meditate with Jay, and we'll try to get a consensus. And when we see something that's popular, we'll go ahead and schedule it. Okay? Again, thank you for your donations. This means a lot to me. This is what I do full time. So whatever you're doing is supporting this movement. I left the corporate world to be able to be of service to people who are having these need for transformation, needing the need for getting spiritual support and finding meaning and living a fulfilling life. And so when you're part of this, you're part of that movement. When you're supporting me, you're supporting that movement. So thank you, Mudita, for those for sharing that. Yes, Carlos, I appreciate it. So V2 fee-based, I don't know what you're talking about. All of those retreats, virtual retreat, the Sacred Circle, they're all fees, but very reasonable. And by the way, I have one-on-one coaching. Some of you prefer not to come into these group settings, and you have said that you're going through some stuff where you want to discuss this. You want to have one-on-one sessions, mentoring, therapy. Then you go to the bottom right corner of your screen where you see the live button. You'll click on that, and you'll see mentoring/workshops, and you can go sign up for mentoring, or again, joywithj.com. My website has a mentoring page where I detail out what the process looks like, and there's a onboarding form that I need you to fill out, and then we can talk about that. And yes, all of these are, there's a very nominal fee associated with all of this, given the time and effort it takes. How long are the retreats for? I mean, how many days? Yeah, Ricardo, I've done different ones. My silent retreats are 3-day, Thursday through Sunday. And the destination retreats, like the ones I told you, the 4 seasons, 4 continents, those are a week long, because those retreats are tremendous in terms of they not only include spiritual work, but I bring you, expose you to culture. For example, if I take you to Japan, we'll do temple tours, we'll do origami, you'll learn kimono dressing, you will learn the Japanese tea ceremonies and things like that. So I do bring in a lot of culture components, and of course we're there in the cherry blossoms. So I will take you out. We'll have organized tours on a bus to go see the cherry blossoms in the wild, and such. And then of course authentic foods. And so if it's in Italy, then you'll have a lavender oil making class and things like that. So it's everywhere. It depends on the destination. If it's in California, then maybe it's just 3 days. But if it's one of these destination retreats I'm talking about in these different continents, it's a week long. Okay, so again, I'm not married to any of these things. This is what you all have requested. If you all are flying so far, you want it to be that long, because there's a lot of research that shows that it really takes about 8 days for the brain to unwind and to get into that rhythm of having slowed down. So I think 7 is close enough, but anything shorter than that in a destination retreat makes no sense. Yeah, so again, if you subscribe to my newsletter, again on my website, joywithj.com, you'll get information to any of these things once they have been decided and have been declared. How do the cohorts get decided in the Sacred Circle? How big are the cohorts? Good question. The Sacred Circle cohorts are 2 to 3 people. Sometimes it goes to 4 if you really have some, 4 people rallying around a particular subject or a particular area of interest. But typically there are 2 to 3 people. So it's a small cohort. So everybody gets a deep, chance. It's between 20 to 25 minutes is the breakout within the 90-minute set. And so you really get to share your story with your partners in that particular breakout group. Okay, so hope that helps. Jay puts us into groups of 3 to 4 based on, what you're interested in. Yeah, so 2, 3, 4, somewhere in that ballpark. Okay, we've gone way past our time. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you for being part of this Soul Tribe, my journey that we've been on. Like I said, this is episode 111. All of them will be available for you to watch recorded after the fact. I usually bring it up and post it in a couple of days. Oh, I just want to make one last announcement. Like I said, I'm leaving on Friday to Maui. So Sunday will be as usual, 9 a.m. Pacific. There's no change. But next Wednesday, so a week from today, I've decided to have this session 9 a.m. Pacific. I repeat that. It will not be an evening session like now. The Wednesday will be a morning session, 9 a.m. Pacific, because the timing-wise in Hawaii, there's a 2-hour time difference between us and Hawaii. I just realized that it'll interfere with other things I've got going on. Okay, folks, seems like your hearts are content. You got most of your questions answered. If not, go ahead and drop. Like I said, I'm happy to continue the conversation in the circle, Meditate with Jay on this app. And until I see you all again, I wish you all be strong, be healthy, go shine your light, and be well.